Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Jazz Marimba and Vibraphone Virtuoso Taiko Saito on the 2023 album Tears of a Cloud. On this new solo album, she throws the spotlight on her talent and her improvised prowess. Most of the album is totally improvised with no preconceived ideas. Anything might happen once she starts, and it does in spectacular fashion. We cover this album and so much more. Enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. And you?
Excellent. Where are you located right now?
Berlin, Germany.
Okay, all right. It's great to talk to you again. As you know, we love the vibes around here. I really enjoyed the new album, so thank you for taking a minute out.
Oh, thank you for inviting me and listening to my music.
Absolutely. So, Tears of a Cloud is the new release, and before we get into it, how does it feel now that we're coming out of this pandemic? Things are opening up. You got a new album. How does this release feel for you?
This album I recorded before the pandemic. It took so long time. And then during pandemic time, cover designer, listening to music, and he took a long time to make this great cover. I'm very happy what we did. Recording was then before the pandemic. I made mastering and cover design gave it in the whole theater and so on. And every work I did in the pandemic time. It was not only for me than just music, cover design and liner notes and everything was for me. And so like liner notes is for me. And so my own magazine cover it's for me, and so this is not only my music. This is so for me the first time. Then teamwork with many friends.
Are you happy with how everything turned out? Are you getting a good reception?
Yes.
What was the idea behind this album? What was the urge to put this out? What was your vision for the sound?
Playing just only about music. I improvised in the whole music. This was for me some kind of experiment.
Because of what we've gone through with COVID and not being able to play, has your appreciation for music gone up?
First was for me writing playing just for me. And improvising just for me and making an album. I made also the solo album 12 years ago. This was when just in the classical music. For me, it's make the recording solo album. I thought it's my own things, not just for me. But this time, I don't know. I have many friends who organized the small festivals in Berlin, asked me also before the pandemic, and during pandemic, especially, give the solo concert. I never organized I never did the booking for my solo performance. Just so my friends called me and asked to the solo performance. And for me, this is solo performance, improvised solo performance, growing up during friends also, and of course, then because the pandemic, because in the first in the lockdown time, we couldn't give a concert, and then many friends began to give an online concert, but just the solo or for duo. I played many solo concerts. I remember I 1, 2, 3, and duo, many also. And it was quite a lot for me. And now it's just for me the solo performance with improvising.
Are you performing live now?
Yes, but not solo.
With this new album, what are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
I think this album is some sounds is not common marimba and vibraphone sounds. I hope that not only for the how to say I try to the make and then with this album somehow then so the very free improvising very abstract and somehow it's very then so in sounds or the music like ambient music for me I didn't want to make then so the just a free avant-garde album. I wanted an all mix.
My style of playing is based on Japanese culture. It's difficult to explain, but before studying music in Berlin, I studied classical music in Tokyo, especially solo marimba. There I learned a lot of contemporary works from Japanese composers of the 70s and 80s. It was very much about the intensity of a sound and especially of the tones. It was involved the movement of sounds between space and motion, as well as how to play a tone with varying intensity. The teaching was somewhat akin to judo, karate, or aikido, and there was a then philosophical approach to performing. This album was created by compiling a collection of pieces I have improvised over the past decade or so. These pieces are based on sounds and performance techniques that I have been experimenting with and exploring. Some of the tracks on this album have ambient quality, making them easy to listen to, while others take a more avant-garde and free-form approach. It's like creating a solo exhibition of paintings. In the past few years, I have experienced the loss of my brother, the impact of the corona disaster, and now the war in Ukraine. These have left emotional voids within me. Perhaps those empty spaces are also reflected in the sound of this album. Yet, I have not forgotten to put my strong energy into music for love and peace.
Where can people where can people download, the best place to get the album?
You can find my solo album Tears of a Cloud on the Bandcamp page of the Travel in the East record. The Travel in the East record is a unique Berlin collective jazz label that has released a lot of music by Berlin musicians. I hope that listeners will be able to create their own imaginary world while listening to this album.
Excellent. It's great to catch back up with you. Thank you for the music. Thank you for opening up about it. Best of luck as we kind of move forward here in the new year.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players and minds in Germany, New York City, Kansas City, Japan, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Taiko for time, music, and story. If you want to hear more interviews, you can find Neon Jazz interviews on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us at YouTube, and for everything Neon Jazz, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.